Yeah. I see.
You're actually working my kids. Leave the gear on.
Probably don't need it.
You haven't seen my glasses, have you? I'm sure I had them up here on Friday.
Morning.
Hey, Brian.
How are you? You good?
Why not? I'm with you here.
Right. You're still waiting for vehicles?
I know. Kevin's still coming. Yep, he had a
Just
loading issue this morning.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what that means, eh? She was running a bit late. He'd probably be. He was just letting you know recording trip. You know, about half an hour ago, 15 minutes ago.
So, all these guys here are aware about our concerns, do you think?
No, not so much about the concerns and that sort of thing.
Oh,
I just
okay.
said that we've been trying to make contact and to get access to them,
Oh, yeah.
but no more than
Okay.
the detail.
I think it would be quite good for them to hear what our concerns are so that everyone's on the same page. I mean,
Just from First Gas's point of view, I think, Prani, with due respects to you guys and stuff like that, it's just really wanting to just come in and do this piece of work just to allow us to, and with you guys, to consider the options, in terms of the repair for the defect. It was a task just to come in and look at where the bulge is and just confirm or not confirm, basically.
so project
What-
work.
Well, it's not project work. I mean, this is sort of a maintenance or an inspection, basically. It's not to do, with the repair as such in terms of no. Well, what I'm saying is that from the First Gas perspective, it's a maintenance exercise, an inspection around. Oh, it's on the Pariroa. It's on the Pariroa site. Well,
Part of the Pariroa work.
well, okay, if that's the case, but I'm just being, I'm just here to deliver the message at the end of the day, but it's more about getting that information to be able to analyse all the other options that you've been part of for the repair of the defect and stuff like that. So.
But it's part of Pariroa Phase 2.
Well, no, it's leading into
Morning.
Phase 2.
So it's Pariroa Phase 1.
Well, what we're saying is that we've still got to do this work, inspection work,
It's
just
either
to be able to.
Pariroa Phase 1 or Phase 2.
What difference does it really make there in terms of Pariroa Phase 1 and 2? Yeah. I mean, it just means that this work needs to be done.
But you just said it's not part of Pariroa Phase 2.
Well, it is. It's going to lead to.
It is Pariroa Phase 2.
It's going to lead to Phase 2 in terms of.
Well, if it's not
Determining
Phase 2, it
basically.
must be Phase 1.
No, I don't want to get into semantics.
No, that's fine. Ask his job. No,
So-
I just asked Tuka if everyone coming in today was aware about our concerns,
Well, we might as well get these fellas up more.
so that everyone's on the same page, because I wouldn't like for these guys who have driven out here today to...
Yeah, well, we're not aware of that.
Right.
Yeah.
From my point of view, this is project, especially when a digger is coming in to dig a hole, and it's project on the project site, which is Pariroa. On my behalf, there's been several requests for information about this, and it's been so limited. All we're getting back from First Gas is uncomfortable with my team's approach, and we're getting the bare minimum information, which is totally different from how it used to be. Well, the level of involvement is pretty much non-existent, and I'm really uncomfortable with that. So we've asked Paul Goody to step in and stop today. He's written back and basically said, I'm happy with my team's approach. I'm not. I'm not happy about it at all. From a landowner point of view, a stakeholder point of view, a trustee point of view, and payment point of view. I'm not comfortable. And I don't think it's good enough that the CEO for a foreign corporate can come back and say, I'm comfortable. It's not his place. I have seen a map with some of the excavation planned to come off the bend in the pipe. It's going to go on a portion of our land that's way off the easement. I haven't seen any justification for the work that's going to happen. I haven't seen any reasoning around it, proper reasoning. We just get told this is what we want to do, we want you to let us do it, we're comfortable with what we're doing. For me, I'm not comfortable from a personal point of view.
So the process you're imposing now is basically the 1970s way things are done. This issue went through the courts, finalised in 2009, where the kaitiakitanga of the Hapū and the iwi has to be provided for, and nothing's changed in that respect. And the outcome of that is we're entitled to participate in any discussions with engineers, etc. And in this case, the engineers are obviously in geotech sitting at a project team level, and we've been excluded from that in this part of the proposal. There's no problem with it earlier on through phase 1, and the company has made a blunt attack on the kaitiakitanga and said no, we're not putting up with kaitiakitanga. So there's no access permission today. We're putting this on hold. We've asked you in writing several times for project documents, reinstate project team meetings that we get notified of, and we can have those discussions with the people, be part of the decision making process.
Yeah, just, the response is about the level of participation, and that's definitely been something that First Gas, needs to, have that conversation, because there is a difference. It doesn't align, Russell, at this stage.
Well, then First Gas need to front up.
Well, I think there's been an offer, to try and meet and try and get those ones around the table to discuss that, and I think that's a way forward. Definitely in terms of your position and where you're coming from. I think the solution is about getting, those ones there to the table and talk about, basically the level of involvement and their expectations to your expectations and stuff like that. So, again, that's been the issue for First Gas around the level of participation, but it's not for me to say. I think they need to come forward and articulate those things. Yep. I know that we had that review and stuff like that on Pariro phase 1, and by all accounts things went well, from the review, taking back. So again, it's a First Gas position, and they need to front it, to come forward and front that with you guys in terms of being able to break this. What they're saying is that they do have easement rights to come in and do the work. They're saying that they'll be operating this work within the easement. We're also wanting your participation as part of it. We've offered that.
Well, this work, I've looked at the draft plan. This work is not within the easement at all. Well, there's a percentage of it that's within the easement, but the bulk of the work's outside the easement.
Well, according to
so we're not talking within easement. I agree that the First Gas people need to front up here and have that discussion. They need to have it before they start coming in wanting to dig up the land. And that's been it. They need to front up, and we've asked them. And Paul's actually said he will. He just wants to do the digging first.
One thing that we were quite concerned about when you came up to meet last year, you told us First Gas, are not being honest with us, so that makes it even more difficult to resolve these sorts of things.
It's not so much. It's about
Well,
how we get around the table.
Well, that's what you said. First Gas are not being honest with you, so where does that leave us?
So we're quite happy for First Gas to come and sit around the table. But within that, we expect First Gas to be completely honest. And
And that includes project documentation.
Yeah, I gather, this is only part of an investigation. The integrity of the pipe, just to have a look, basically will determine basically where to from there. And at that point, the conversation is going to be with the landowner, with Poutama and that sort of thing too. So, it's not that they're excluding you, it's just a piece of work that needs to be done.
Well, they're excluding us from the planning.
No, well, I mean, the planning was purely a simple, excavation around the bulge, identifying it.
Well, if it's a simple issue, why the exclusion? Like, we looked at phase 1, we looked back, and full participation, no secrets.
They just
Here's all the project documentation on an iCloud, here's the password, there's geotech reports, there's engineering reports, there's meeting minutes, project team meeting minutes, all sorts. No secrets. And First Gas were quite proud of that process and quite proud of the benefits they got, proud of working with Tangata Whenua, and now they've decided they don't want to do that anymore. And just as an aside, like, the tribunals released another report just before Christmas on the Portai issue, and inclusive of a whole range of things Public Works Act and gas companies has found that the Poutama claim is well founded. So there's no excuse not to carry on with a collaborative process. The courts have already endorsed it, tribunals endorsed it, the Waitangi Tribunal held a petroleum report, and one of the issues investigated, reported on, was that all the circumstances around the 2009 lead up court decision, etc. It's already done and dusted. Your CEO put in 2 entries to the Energy Awards a couple of years ago, celebrated the collaborative relationship with the iwi and Hapū here, celebrated on a national basis and got through to the finals in both of those entries. So the about face is not good enough. This is not 1970, this is 2021. But our door's open, get the people that are making these decisions up to have the discussions.
I think, and just be open and upfront with what it is you are doing. It's, you're saying this isn't project, but in our eyes it is. When you do works like that, at that site, it's project. It's project work.
From First Gas, we've been clear that it